Hello, my name is Dan Juday, and I've recently published memoirs from my childhood and young adulthood. It's called Waltzing a Two-Step, Reckoning Family, Faith, and Self. It's a long story, but I've selected a short piece from it to give you an idea of how it goes. This is my memory, at any rate, of my first day in school. The first day of school ripped in two my delicately constructed understanding of life. One half of that torn fabric was the era when there was no school. The other half was when school was here and now and looming ahead into the foreseeable future. Suddenly I had to learn to execute a repetitive performance, wake up on time, finish my breakfast, board a bus, settle into my desk, behave all morning, and stay awake. This momentous partition of time took place on the first day of kindergarten at Christ the King Parochial School in the autumn of 1954. There would have been some warning. My sister was only a year older. I must have seen her leave for school, tearfully if she were true to form. I must have known that my day would come. Whatever the case, when it did, I took the whole thing quite stoically. I stood sentry-like on the sidewalk of Indianola Avenue, waiting for the bus. Any minimalist parting scenes were played out in the privacy of the house. I memorized all the new names and numbers that were my clues to navigating the days of that first year. I simply stopped thinking about the things that once kept me preoccupied around the house, preschool. Mrs. Grisham was our teacher. She treated us, she often said, like grown-ups because, she reminded us, that's what we were becoming. The basement classroom had windows that sat high over even Mrs. Grisham's head. They framed the anklets of girls at play in the schoolyard outside and the navy blue trouser legs of the boys' uniforms. In that basement room with the piano against the wall and the cursive alphabet above the chalkboard, there may have been many 6-year-olds who couldn't sit still, who didn't want to be treated as an adult, whose need to run and play and scream and chase would have got the better of them from time to time. I wasn't one of them. I relished the moments of calm, of obedience, of scrutinizing the alphabet and its clever way of making words. I loved the books, the clean pages, the smell of crayons and pencil shavings and chalk dust. I was enchanted with what Mrs. Grisham had to say in her between us adults patter. There was myself, the general stir around me, and Mrs. Grisham, with her expressive face and animated pleasure over new words and new ideas. Best of all, there was her approval, which could be earned by a kind of monastic calm and by close, rapt attention to what she was saying, unless we were asked a question, in which case the prize went to the first of us to answer. Everything about school was serious. I adored seriousness. I enjoyed structure. I was partial to reason and explanation, to assurances that chaos could be kept at bay through proper comportment. I earned excellent report cards. I brought them home like a herald returned from triumphant battle. My mother wordlessly received the card and returned it to me the next day, her perfect Palmer penmanship signature on the back. I remember no conversations about them. I still have those cards encased in an album my mother sent me. Reading them over, it seems my weakest subject was religion, with which the nuns infused everything in those formative days. The comportment categories bear a check mark where improvement is needed. The full list includes obedience, courtesy, truthfulness, justice and charity, cooperation, punctuality, health and safety habits, and respect for school property. We were to internalize these virtues and measure our daily performance by them. Mrs. Grisham noted that I needed to work on staying silent while others were speaking. This seems to have been a consistent problem throughout each grading period. And yet, still, I remember myself as mute. The book is available on amazon.co.uk. It's also available on Book Depository. And I'm doing everything that I can to make it available in retail shops here in Ireland. If you're interested in getting a copy of the book, it would be great if you just go into your local bookshop and ask them to order it. Maybe that's how we all get our books into the retail shops. Thanks very much. You'll hear more from me later. Bye-bye.